are in this session of the India Connection event. You have been here other days, I suppose, talking about the architectural part, then about the structures. And well, today we are going to talk about the programs we have for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineers. There are so many programs. I'll try to, first of all, explain a little bit how to get access to these programs and how you can download them from the store. Okay, if you come to the website, previously you only need to know that it's BIMserver.center, and you will find this website. Okay, make sure you change to English, and here, okay, in the right, in the flag, and here you have the store. We have, as I said, a lot of programs, and you could search one by one, but it's also possible to change by category. That's what I think it could be a good idea this time. For example, if we are interested about wastewater installations, we could click here, and the program, the engine, will search for us for the type of programs we have of this area of expertise. For example, we have open site plumbing, sanitary systems, and open BIM water equipment. We are going to talk about these programs today, for example, okay? How could we search for more programs? Example, if we write water, we can find building utilities, water supply, and we'll find the same. As we saw about sanitary systems, we have another equivalent, but for water systems. We could see self-plumbing water systems, self-plumbing solar systems, these schematic diagrams. Okay, once we have selected a program, only we need to click in the button, and then we will have access to the program by clicking here, download. We can download it and install it. And also, there are available documents which include seminars, tutorials, and other information. So you have a lot of information only by clicking in, as I said, BIMserver.center and then the store. Also, what else? Because, okay, we talk about plumbing programs. Then about open BIM systems, these are programs that are from vendors, specific vendors. For example, if we write the program we're going to talk today, we write open BIM, we can find there's a series of a number of programs. Today, I thought it could be a good idea to talk about open BIM taking, which is one program for modeling HVAC installations. Okay, with BRB and heat pump installations, biothermal.
Open BIM guidance.
For an example, okay, of the type of information you can have access to. Also, coming back here, as I said, you could find here writing the category, or also there are these fast access. For example, if we write thermal analysis, or we select thermal analysis, we can find all the programs related to this. For example, Selfdriving, which is one of the programs I'm going to show you today. Okay, so more or less, for example, another topic of today would be fire safety. If we click here, we can see all the programs that we have related to site fire installations. One that is very interesting is this site fire hydraulic systems, which is for sprinklers installations. We'll explain it in more detail today. Okay, but I just wanted to show a little look of this because there's a lot of information that you can access to and take a look more calmer in another moment if you're interested in a specific program. Okay, so more or less, and the other part that maybe you could be interested in is the electrical systems. There are a number of programs about that. And for example, I said like the core and other programs. What I'm going to talk about today? I thought it would be a good idea to start a project from IFC Builder, okay, which is a very easy to use program, very fast. And we will start with a job that is already drawn, okay, and then we will insert the water equipment with OpenBIM water equipment with this program. The next step will be to continue with the water installations and sanitary installations that will be done with these programs, self-planning water systems and self-planning sanitary systems. This will be the flow, okay? IFC Builder, OpenBIM water equipment, and then the water systems and sanitary systems installations. It is also possible to go from site architecture to self-planning water systems or self-planning sanitary systems. Okay, very interesting also. And I know that you already know this program from previous sessions. Then we will change subject in the sense that we will change to energy calculations. So we will do the thermal loads calculation of the same building, and then we will continue with the BRB installation with OpenBIM taking. And the last thing we will do, hopefully, if we have time for that, is to continue with the CYPE hydraulic systems. We'll do the sprinklers installations of this project. I'll show you if it's okay for you. I'm already in my account in BIMserver.center. Of course, I have my own account. In there, I have my projects. I'm going to show you what is the goal of today with a finished project. So you get an idea of what we want to do. And let's see if it's possible in the 2 hours. At least I'm very interested in that you know what is the way to use the programs and get a general idea of the use of the programs. If you have any doubt, please don't hesitate to contact us. We are here, especially in the technical support department. We're here to help you. We will be glad to hear from you. And you can always send an email, for example. An email, it could be the best idea, to this address, support@site.com. Okay? I want to make sure you know this email. Don't hesitate to contact us. Okay. Now I was going to show you the goal of today's seminar. The goal will be to complete a project of a restaurant. I have here this project. It was and in this project I did everything I explained before. Okay, I used all those programs. What is the result? If we click here, just give it a little moment. Because it's possible to see the different layers of the project. No, okay, here it is. It's in the window. Sorry. Here we have now everything is almost it's not visible. If we could make it visible, for some reasons, I don't know. I think I'm experiencing some problems with the graphical I'll come back later to this, okay? But in theory, here I could be seeing the model, okay? We'll go back to here. The thing is, what I want to explain is that here we have the architectural model and then the different installations. For example, the water installation, sanitary installation, sprinklers, the results of the loads, and also the wastewater. And okay, I'll try to do this afterwards. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. It's okay. We'll come back here. Okay, how can we start? We will start an empty job. It's very important that the BIMserver.center synchronizer is running. Okay, when you install any program, the program allows you to install the synchronizer, and it's very important that it is working and that you are connected with your account. Okay, so everything, when I say everything, so there is a communication between the different programs. That's thanks to the synchronizer. Let me start with a file from IFC Builder. We will start, well, I have in my computer, I created a folder with the name of the, well, a name of the event of today. It has its name, and I'm going to keep all the files related to the project in this folder. So everything is tidy. This is the extension of IFC Builder files. So let's open this. Here it is. And well, this program is very, very easy to use. It is possible, of course, to work using templates, DWG or DXF files, okay, this kind of extension. And well, you can create a model really fast. So I'm going to shut down my webcam because I think it's using too much memory. Let's see if now everything goes faster. Let's hope it improves. Okay, here it is. Here it is the model. What is important to understand, well, as I said, you can use templates. If you are used to work with DWG or DXF templates, it's very easy to work with this program. You can capture the different template and create a geometry, actually an architectural and analytical model. This model will have the edges. So that's quite important for the programs as sector loads that need the edges, okay, for the thermal analysis. Well, this is already finished, but it's important to understand what information this program needs. In this program, well, first of all, you set the orientation, the number of floors you have, and in the architecture tab, you draw the different walls and partitions, the floor slabs, the opening, etc. But in this case, it's not necessary to give a lot of information, only the reference, the name you want the element to have, and the thickness. In this program, you don't say the layers of the materials of the different construction elements. We will do that in other programs. So I'm telling you this so you understand how fast this really is. So only you start drawing with the use of the template or not, and then only saying space new, you can give a reference, insert a point, and the program is going to read this geometry with surface and volume. Okay, so think it's a good idea to try the program. I hope you find this interesting. Well, in talking about the spaces, only a little comment, because you see here we create types of spaces. In this example, we have 3 types of spaces: dining room, kitchen, and toilet. And then we can have more than one space with the same type. This will be important. I'm a little stop in this part, because when we start a file with the plumbing programs, we will see how the different spaces are read. Okay, so that's something I want to do a little pause here, that we have 3 types of spaces. And well, that's it. That's more or less, that's it. We have a flat roof, and this is going to be what we are going to export to the different programs. Okay, so this could be the beginning of the beginning of the project. This with the architectural model. It's very important to create it with the right values of like that, height of the floor, etc., because this will be read with the other programs. Okay, so that's in case we want to make a change in the geometry, this is the program we would use for that. Okay. Now that this is clear, what we do is to export the geometry to the project. In this case, to this project. We accept, and the program will upload the file. You see like this little blue arrow means that the file is loading. We will see here, this is the finished one. But here in projects, I have also, this is the one we are starting from scratch. As you see, it tells me when the last change was made. A few seconds ago. So that's the file. In this moment, this is we have only the geometry. Okay, and we will add step by step more information. We can see it in the 3D and also here in content. Okay, so by now what we have is the geometry. What is going to be the next step? The next step will be to insert the water equipment. How can we do this? We are going to use this program, Open BIM Water Equipment. We create a new file. We can browse, so we can choose where we are going to keep it. As I said, we had a folder for this. Let's call it the same name, for example. There's no problem in repeating names because each program has its own extension of files. So that's it. Let's accept here. And now we have to select the project. In this moment, we don't want a new project. We want to select interconnection project. Doing this, we can select the initiator. The program reads that we have an initiator that started in IFC Builder. That's fine. That's what I wanted. So let's click import, accept. And here we are reading the floors from the architectural model, what we defined in IFC Builder. We want the 2 floors, and then the 3 space types. That's fine, finish. And here we are. This is the Open BIM Water Equipment program. Here you can see that the program has read the floor plans. So we have these 2 floor plans, the elevation that we defined in IFC Builder. So here, the aim of this program is to insert the water equipment. So that's what we are going to do. Here we have, for example, the wash basin. We could choose the one we prefer and is inserted here. We could use, if we want, we can use the template object snaps. So we can use this. But also it's very useful, this tool that changes the orientation. Okay, so for example, I could do it like that. Then with the opposite direction, I will do this. Then we could insert the toilets. We have a number of options, okay? In this case, as I try to do this fast, I'm not going into much detail, but it's important that you know that there are so many options, okay? That the interest of this is that this is going to be read in the other programs. Sync. Here we have the syncs with these options. Imagine this is fine for me. As I say, the objective of today is that you know the general, the way this works, not much the detail of the element I choose or I don't choose. In this example, imagine we have, this is a restaurant, so it's maybe instead of one dishwasher, we have two dishwashers, for example. Let's insert them. And well, I think that's it for this example, okay? We have this equipment. Of course, we could choose more elements depending on the type of project we have, okay? The next step is to export this to the project. We could go directly to Selfdriving. Well, for a second. This is the normal way, is exporting here. We could write the name of the file. I always like saying what part of the installation is. For example, I write water equipment. Okay, I accept. And by doing this, by clicking in export, this is going to go to the cloud, to BIMserver.center. So here it is now, at this moment, we only have we have the architecture, but as you see here, now we have added the water equipment. Okay, so well, this is it. Now these elements are here, so we will be read in other programs, in any program we need. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm experiencing problems with the graphic. The 3Ds are not working in this moment. I don't know if it's because of the webinar or anything, because I can assure you that it was working some minutes ago. I don't know. I'm sorry about this, but you have to please believe that here this TLF is the graphic view of these elements, okay? The IFC and the GTL, so you can see the drawings. Okay. So the next, what is the next step? If we export, then with other programs, for example, with water systems, we could start a file and selecting this project. This always is very interesting to export here, so we have the project in the cloud. But as it's the most common ways is that after doing this, after inserting the equipment, we will probably want to go to self-plumbing water systems or self-plumbing sanitary systems. So there are these fast or quick accesses to these programs. If I click here, you can see this, okay? So it's possible to do it directly. I'm going to do this, okay? And as you see, this is more automatic. The program already creates a file with the name of the project and in the right folder. So I think this is nice. So let's use this. Let's press water supply and accept. So the program will be open automatically. In this moment is very important because we are linked to the project, to the right project, but it's important that we select this the right way. Is it correct that the IFC builder is going to be the initiator? Yes, it is correct. I want this geometry to be imported. And do I want this, the OpenBIM water equipment project or file to be as additional file? Yes, of course, because that way we will read the elements, the position of the elements. So let's do this. We can accept. And here it is. We can see the configuration windows. For example, the floor plans, we want to import the 2 floors. Then the space types. Yes, we want the 3 types, the 3 space types. And then here, general options. This is very, very important, okay? Here, this program, Selfdriving Water Systems, is very powerful and very flexible. You can tailor-made the analysis you want to make with adding your own checks or your own consumptions, etc. You could start from an totally empty job and create everything by yourself. But the program comes with this really helpful tool, which is the import configuration button. Here, you can have access to different standards. I guess for the people that are listening or watching this today, the most useful could be probably the British or the American or the European configuration, probably, or maybe somebody from Singapore also. Okay, these are the standards that are in English. But it's something that is very important to understand is that it's only a help, a little help, but it doesn't mean that it's something closed or something that cannot be edited. I'll show you now. I hope I'll show you it. I can make it clear. Imagine I select this, the British standard 6700, okay? I accept. And what do I get? By doing this, I get, for example, here in consumptions, I get this kind of consumption, for example, the WC cistern with these pressures, this flow, this comes from the British standard, okay? I get this information, but for example, here I see a lot of elements of the found installation, but I don't see, for example, the drain. I needed, when I was doing this example, I was trying to make it before, I couldn't find a drain for the water, for the rainwater installation. So what can I do? I can add it manually from here. I could add anything I need, even not only give it the different properties, and if it's for cold water, hot water, mixer, which means cold and hot, but I also can select the label I want, the symbol. Okay, it's very tailor-made. You can create it by yourself. This is also, you could create your own consumptions, you could create your own rules of dimensioning. For example, in this when you select the British standard, you get 4 types of pipes, and maybe I need more. When I talk about types, this is talking about what checks I want to make. For example, velocity or the simultaneity I want to use, what are the minimum or maximum diameter, etc. So this is, I think, this is very helpful at the beginning to use a pre-configuration, but probably you will want to create your own configuration. That is what I did. So instead of using the British standard that comes here, I'm going to click here. Well, what I did was create my own options and then export to this folder, which is for the where these files are saved. Then in another file, I only have to click here in the import button. If I press here, I have the British standard, but well, Maria, because it's with my own requirements. What happens now? If I accept here, the program asks me if I want this to be the initial values for any new job. I'll say no this time, but if you are always going to use these values, it could be interesting to check yes. What happens now? If I press in horizontal pipes, I have these 4 type of horizontal pipes with more help about if it's cold, hot, because I find it useful when I'm working to read in the reference the type of pipe it is. Okay, you can do it with your own criteria. And I have also, for example, I have created one horizontal pipe, which is going to be specifically for the flashing bulbs consumptions, because I'm going to have this kind of consumption in the restaurant. So I created one specific type of line, so I can know that is especially for that and more clear. You could set the color of any line with your, maybe if it's compulsory or because that's your taste, okay? And for example, what I told before about the consumptions, here you can see that I have this element with my own, with the criteria I wanted. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I accept this. Okay, and then let's. This is the step where this is very important because here you say all the configurations for the file. For example, not only what kind of calculations you want to do, but for example, if the design is going to be from choosing the diameter, minimum diameter, or choosing the minimum available pressure, this is, well, there are a lot of options, and in this case we are going to keep it with the default values. But it's interesting that you know that this is very flexible, so you can come back to this button and select different options. Also, you can choose if you want to check the positions in series of the bar of the room with plumbing, different options that can be tailor-made. Okay, also the representation by default is like that, but you could change it anytime. And something that is very important also is about the units of measurement that by default is in the international system, but you can change it any time. Here, if I press here in this arrow, I could change from the international system to the IP system. And not only that, this is also, it's possible to change one by one. For example, for the pressure, the default value is this, but you could click here in the cell and change the unit you prefer. Okay, that's, I suppose everybody has their preferred units, and also depending on the amount of water flow. For example, sometimes one unit can be better than others, so it's important that you know that this is, you can change it. If you don't mind, I'm going to keep it with the international system as I explain how to use the program, and then for the reports, I'll change the units, okay? It's something that you can change anytime. The project can start with one unit, and then when you have finished, generate the reports with other units, no problem, okay? So, well, now that this is done, let's check next. And here, I can see, well, the consumption types. This is what the program is reading from OpenBIM water equipment. Okay, we have 4 types of elements. So that's exactly what this is reading. This is reading that we have toilets. Let's choose this, flashing bulbs. So I want to use a different line for them. Then I want the wash basin, this. I have a specific wash basin element. Then for the sink, there's also in the British standard, we can choose this, kitchen sink, for example, because it's in the kitchen, and dishwasher, the same. Okay, we can finish. And then we will be here. Here we see this is the environment is very similar to OpenBIM water equipment. Here you can see the 2 levels. Okay, with this button we can make it in the full window, and here you can see the elevation, etc. If you see here, what has happened is that the elements are already inserted in the model. So of course there's this warning, because it says this element is disconnected from the installation. Of course, we haven't finished the installation, but I think it's quite interesting that the elements are in the right position. That's here. If we press here in the project part, we could select or unselect the different parts and see if we want. We can see only the, for example, here. These are the water equipment installation. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you in the platform. This could be the what you could see, the equipment exported to the platform, and you can share it with anybody you want, with your contacts, or even make it open to everybody. Okay, this is the information that is traveling from different programs to the platform. Okay, so any moment you can select or unselect the parts that you are interested in. The elements is referring to the pipes, etc., the elements that we insert here. Of course, one thing that is interesting is that here you could add more consumptions. Okay, it's not, we are reading this from the OpenBIM water equipment, but it could be possible, of course, to insert any element we want here in the position we want. Okay? But I think it's better if we do this in OpenBIM water equipment, so the model is consistent. And if we insert, for example, a bath here, this will travel to water system or OpenBIM water systems and Selfdriving water systems and Selfdriving sanitary systems. And I don't have to repeat it in all the programs. Okay, that's it. Another thing. I'm sorry. Yes, that's it. We have the elements now, and we are ready to insert the installation. Here, in general options, we can always come back and change anything we want or add new consumptions, pipes, whatever we need. Okay, sorry, what I told about the drainer, it wasn't in this program, the drain, it was in sanitary systems. Okay, we will see it later. Okay, sorry for the little confusion. Well, let's do now the installation. We could do the installation in many ways. We could start drawing directly, but in this case, I think it can be interesting, so it's more as real as possible. We could use this, the polar tracking, so that the different, when we draw the pipes, they have a certain angle. And in this case, I'm going to choose 45, okay, because it's better, afterwards will be better in order to choose real elements when we are in the real installation. So let me show you. This will be, of course, sorry, in the sanitary systems, okay? In the water systems is more open, sorry. Let's do this. We could start from the elements. In this, when we are talking about water systems, we don't need to use a certain direction. We could do as we prefer, from the supply connection point and then go to the consumptions, or the other way. In my case, I think I prefer from the supply connection point. I will do that, okay? If in this moment I insert the supply connection point, which is going to be the starting point in the street. Let's decide a point. It could be, for example, here. I can give it a certain direction, for example, like that. And then the next, well, we could draw the horizontal pipe. For horizontal pipes, I have two types, cold water and hot water. In this case, it's cold water. And I have three criteria. Water with horizontal pipe with simultaneity for cold, without simultaneity, or with a simultaneity for flashing bulbs consumption. In this case, as is the more common installation, the first part, I choose this with simultaneity. Here, I can start drawing. I could use this, the orthogonality button, if I want. This will help me in the process of setting the elements. And then I could use here the meter. I have the cold water meter. Let's accept it. And we can insert it in the what will probably be. This arrow shows the direction. So in this case, it's important to insert it in the right position, okay, in the right direction. Then I can continue. Okay, the simultaneity. This, for example, can be it can be improved if we use the joint elements tool. With this tool, now we have only one pipe. So if I make a change in any element, it will be seen as a whole. Okay, as a whole element. A horizontal pipe. Let's keep with this type of water, this criteria. And I could start maybe from here. And well, let's suppose that we are going to have the first accessory here. It could be, for example, what accessories do I have here? If I click here, I can see that I have a stop valve, check valve, and also the general shut-off valve. I'm going to explain this because it is important. This is something I did myself. It's very easy to, by using the stop valve, I copy it, and in this accessory, I click the general shut-off valve property. So this is going to be read like that. And I can choose the type of symbol I want. It may be bigger for the general setup one and smaller for the others. This is something you can change. And this is inserted in the program for the general sort of stop values. Okay, now I could insert it here. We present in the accessory, the general set of value, and here it is. It could be, for example, here. And then, well, maybe something that is interesting to insert now is, as you see, we have hot and cold consumptions. So we need a heater. Let's see hot water production. Let's press here. And yes, we are going to use this, the water heater. I'm going to accept it. So insert it maybe here could be a good position. And then I could start drawing the different pipes. I'm with the cold water, sorry. So let's continue like this. You see the program is helping me with the captures. It's very important to connect correctly. Otherwise, the program will tell us that it's not connected. I'm going to make a different line for this because here I want to use a valve for the cold water. For example, okay, this is something, only an example of how you could work. In this example, I could continue, for instance, I'm going to do, yes, a line like that. In this case, this is a very small restaurant, but we could have something, of course, we could have a bigger restaurant. So imagine we could have a line of wash basin, for example, wash basins, okay, for example. So only, this is only a little example. I could do something like that with the different accessories here. You see those smaller valves for the cold water. And for example, I said I created a different type of horizontal pipe for the flushing valves, and we are going to use it. For example, it could start here in this point. Let's create an additional line. Or maybe even earlier. Okay, that's something up to you. Okay, the criteria. And of course, here we have only two. Imagine there are not two flushing valves, but a series of valves. Do like that, and later on we'll see if everything is correctly connected. The program will tell us otherwise. Let's choose here the accessory. Here, and then I think I have inserted all of them. Then I could continue with the hot water. Here I could go with the horizontal pipe, hot water, and we could choose here, okay, hot water with simultaneity. From here, from this arrow, it means is the production of hot water. So we could continue here and maybe split the pipe here. Make sure you don't connect by mistake the hot with the cold water. So it happened to me like that. Okay. There are a number of options to make it easier. The way of, okay, some people prefer maybe one way or other. This is something by practice you will know what is better for you, what works better for you. By now, okay, hot water. Then let's choose an accessory. In this case, important hot water step. Let's insert it here. And now, what is missing? Okay, the bathroom. With the bathrooms, there are two. We could accept here and continue. Maybe like that. I usually do like that, but it is. And by joining, I make sure it is the same. Okay. But again, it's only my. This works for me, but maybe you prefer another way. Okay. Okay. Hot accessories. It's important by the color. It helps to know if we are doing with the right type of accessory. But anyway, the program will tell us if we have made a mistake. Well, I think everything is connected. Let's save the program, the project, and now we are going to press in design. In this case, I have left everything without. I haven't closed any lock, so this means that these locks. If I don't close the locks, means that I want the program to design everything for me. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. We can press here in design button, and the program is going to decide the diameter for each of the pipes. In this case, everything was correctly connected, so there are no mistakes at all. But there could be if it were something disconnected or not with the right type of pipe or anything, the program would tell me. And you can see here. So here we can see the installation. In this case, for example, it could go in the floor. Of course, I could change the installation very easily. I could, for example, I could edit and change the elevation. For example, I can say that I want this to be at 2.7 and close it. If I design again and redraw, I have changed the position of the installation. Okay, this is possible to be done like that, or afterwards I can change the properties once it is already drawn. I can change it. Okay, there are so many ways. For example, I could say this with this tool. I can say that I want everything with the same elevation as this pipe. I choose this, and then I can see in yellow everything that is with another elevation. So I could do like that, design again, and redraw, and you can see the different elevation that it has now. Okay. Well, this is it. I can, of course, oh, I told you before that I was going to change the units. Let's do this now. So I press it here, I can see the different calculus that the program is doing. I could, well, in this case, I had chosen every time the option with simultaneity, but as there were a little number of elements, the simultaneity, for example, here is 1. But if I want, for example, to make sure that never changes the simultaneity in this specific pipe, because it's for, okay, for example, I could edit and change it to horizontal pipe without simultaneity. Okay, everything is editable. What is what are the checks the program makes? If we click in the different pipes, we can see the checks. In this case, is checking the continuity, and is also doing the hydraulic analysis, checking that the diameter is right, the flow, the velocity. We could click here and get a more detailed report of this specific span, one by one. Okay, one by one, we can click here and see the check and also consult the report. Okay, we could use the program in order to make checks. As imagine, I want to check what happens if instead of this diameter, I'm going to choose a smaller one, and I look. You see this? There's a problem with the diameter. The program will tell me that this is not right. I could press here and design again this pipe, so it will go back to the right diameter. Okay, so that's quite, for me, interesting to know that it's possible to let the program design everything, or you could lock certain properties so the program will not change them. Okay, what else? The program generates the report I showed you, but this was all span by span, but also a more detailed report with the criteria that the program uses. You can always export the different documents to PDF. Okay, you can open this with a Acrobat reader, for example, or any other reader. So you could have access to all the formula that the program is using. Okay, I'm sure you are interested in this if you are students in the university, so you can have all this information. And also you can have access to the reports, more detailed reports of the complete installation. I write results report, for example. Results report. And here you have all the different checks and the calculus that the program has made. These are the reference of the elements that, of course, you can change. You can even change them in case you prefer. And also, you can read the different criteria that the program is using, etc. So that's it. And also, you could create the bill of quantities. Also, you could create generated drawings. In different formats. For example, in DWG. Okay, so you can read with CAD programs and with a quite complete symbols table. Okay, so that's more or less what you can do with this program, which is, well, this is a very fast presentation of the program because it's possible to do so many things, but we cannot cover them in the time we have, okay? But I hope you get a real general idea of this program, of the water systems program. Let's see. Now that we have seen this, the next step could be to continue with sanitary systems. We can do that the different ways. We could click here in sanitary systems and start so it opens automatically, or this time I will show you the other way, so it's different. We could start here, Selfdriving sanitary systems. Okay, remember, Selfdriving sanitary systems, create a new file. We choose the folder. Save. And very important, we select the project. And in this case, we want, okay, well, 1 second. I'm going to do something. In this case, you see that you can read the IFC builder model and the water equipment, which is what we did in Open Water Equipment. As I want to read also the water equipment installation, so I don't get crashes. Why I cannot read that? Because I didn't export. Let's export. I forgot it. Sorry. So now I'm going to write India connection water systems. If I do this, I wait a little bit so this uploads. I can check it in. You see here, the project is with more and more information now. It has the water systems installation included. So here we have even, imagine in this case I'm doing everything, but it could be a work team. So it can be interesting to know that your classmate or your workmate has included more information to the project. Let's see. Now that this is finished, we already have the water systems installation. Okay, now that this is finished, what I'm going to do now is continue here. Let's start this. Select project, interconnection. And now you see that you can add the initiator and 2 additional files, the equipment and also the water systems installation. I'll accept. I can add the 2 floors, the 3 space types, and general options. Here I have, again, a number of pre-configurations for different standards. In your case, I suppose these 4 could be the most interesting ones. And in this case, I'm going to use the British standard. And you remember before I said when we talk about the consumptions that I could be, or the discharges that I couldn't find the drain. This is what I added, for example, in my own configuration. If I accept this, now I have the drain. For example, okay, it was only an example, but you can imagine that if you take your time creating new discharges, you can use them in other files. For example, I created one special for rainwater or whatever, okay? It's useful. If you take your time doing this, you can share it with your office or with your class, and your colleagues can use them only by importing. So everybody's using the same materials. Imagine you can create your own pipes catalog, creating the reference you want. Okay, so you can share it. Okay, let's here. This program is very similar in the way of the different options that it has. Once you learn one, it's very easy to learn others. Here, of course, you can change the units the same way. Let me please start with these units and then we will change. Here you see the general options and then the discharges. The program is reading the different elements from IFC Builder and Open BIM water equipment. For the toilets, for example, I could choose this. I could choose the wash basin I want, the sink. This is coming from the British standard. Of course, you could add more. Okay. Maybe instead of this, maybe it could be interesting to create a specific toilet for flushing. Okay, but this is good for this example. Let's finish. And what are we reading? Here in the 3D, you can see that as we have added the water systems installation, the water equipment from Open BIM water equipment, and interconnection is the architectural model. For example, I could hide the architectural model. If I close now, you can see the different. You can see the equipment and also the water installation that we have added in Selfdriving water systems. This 3D is going to be seen also in the platform. Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize for this little problem that we are having in the platform now, but when it works fine, everything can be seen here. Okay, the same 3D is seen here also, so you can choose more or less layers of the project that you can see. Okay. Okay, what else? Here you can see the different what is read from the program, from the architectural model. We can see the 2 floor plans, and here we have the different consumptions. In this case, again, the way of working is very similar, very similar. You can create your own criteria of horizontal pipes or anything you need with the different checks you want to make. I'm going to keep with the ones I have here. And this time is when I wanted to show the polar tracking. It was for the sanitary systems. This is the in which is more useful to have the 45 grades angle. Okay. How could we do this? Again, we could start knowing where is the supply connection point, or we can start with the elements. This is up to you, okay? Let's start in this case with the pipes, maybe. When I create a horizontal pipe, I have 3 different types: foul water, rainwater, or foul water and rainwater. This is important to know that this is something generated by the user. When you create an horizontal pipe, you can choose the type of drainage you are going to have. Okay, that is something is very, very flexible. And well, in this case, let's choose horizontal pipe, and we are going to do first the foul water installation. So that's fine. And I have 2 different, first of all, if it's foul water or other type of water. And then what type of checks I want to make. It could be a discharge connection. This means it's directly from the element, or this other for more sharing, when a pipe is with more than one discharges. Okay, so in this case, as it's only for one, I'll check this. I'll choose this discharge connection for water. I can accept this, and I can draw example. I could do like this, and remember, as the polar tracking is on, it's helping me with the right angle. I could do like that. Maybe I could decide that I'm here. for example, okay. Before, maybe here I could, maybe I could insert an inspection box. Example, and with this, select here, then I can continue. Important in this case is this main drainage. And then I can continue till I go to the supply connection point, that in this case is for both cold water and rainwater. Okay, it could be like that. Let me check. I don't know if I, in this case, okay, this is going to be not this series connection cold water, but main drainage pipe. How can I change it fast? I can use the assign button. I want to choose the criteria. So this criteria is going to be used here and here. For example, okay, I hope this is, and maybe here I could start like that. This is connection. I can make it like this. The same way, do something similar. That. Okay, always the program shows me the direction of the flow. Anyway, if I get confused, imagine I do the opposite way. I don't know. Imagine I do like this and I want it the opposite. There is a tool in order to change the flow direction. I click here and it changes. Okay. Again, this program has so many options. I'm not going to be able to explain everything. I do the best, the more I can. Here, for example, I don't like this design. I'm going to change it a little. Maybe I prefer a little bit like that, and then this, and I'm going to delete this. Something like that would be better. Probably okay, like that. And then I'll do something similar with the kitchen. Example. I could start with tracking. That. Something like that. Example of it. And we could continue. We have even programs that allows us to create the different the finished elements. This is very. I was thinking about that. A little comment because it's important. You know, we have also vendors programs with different brands that are for the finished installation, even for the not only the. Okay, here you can see if you want with the different the real elements. Okay, so it's important that when we draw, we are thinking that this is going to be real. It has to be real and can be has to be. You can we want to find this in the market afterwards. What's here? If you see, everything is fine except here. There's some problem in the inspection box. Let's see. What's the problem? Okay, the dimension is not enough. So I could change the type of time. For example, I could change the type of inspection box. Or I could, yes. That's it. Okay. For example, this I could change another to another. This case, let me see. Well, this could be the finished installation. Of course, in this case, I was choosing this test connection. Maybe we could change. For example, if this is this test connection, but here, for example, it could be main drainage. It's important to, because this is something you have to, it's your own criteria. You have to be looking for this to check if it's okay or not. This test connection, that's fine. But here, for example, I think it's better main drainage. Don't worry about this. This is saying that it's not right because I haven't designed yet. Main drainage, that's fine. Okay, so I make sure that here, for example, for me, this is main drainage. So I'm going to change it. I could copy the criteria, for example. I want the same criteria that I have here. I want it for this, and for this. For example, I could check in dimension, and this will be like that. Okay, this is the kind of checks we can make. Of course, imagine this is finished. I'm a bit I have some problems with the time. I have to be faster if I want to show everything I want to show. I'm going to do something, if it's okay for you. I'm going to show you. This is the sanitary installation. Let's export it. And while this is exporting, I'm going to show you the installation I did yesterday. Okay, so you can see in more detail how to do, for example, how I did in this example the roof, the rainwater installation. In this case, I open this. In this, I did 2 different types, and I think it's interesting from my point of view. Here, this is nicer. Always, when I do it with more time, I think it's better. Make a nicer, a better design. Okay, you can get an idea of how could the design be with the right angles, etc. Okay, imagine this installation. One thing that is interesting from my point of view is that you can see here in green is when is the foul water. Okay, here we finished with this inspection box and then the supply connection point. And then we did the same thing in the roof using drains. In this case, what we have to do is first create a drainage area, which is this, very easily. Okay, it's only like that. You draw the shape of the area. It was really easy to be done. Okay, only using the help of the ground floor, I selected this so I could see the drawing. So I draw this rectangle. So the program calculates the flow that is needed to be drained in this area, and then I just inserted the drains. Okay, so this is like that, and it continues. Of course, with the program we have horizontal and vertical pipes. So this continues here, And well, that's it. This is one way. But because, well, I don't know in India, but in Spain, the government is telling that it's better if the installations are different. The rainwater and the foul water, different installations. But at the end, the supply point is common. What I mean is that they have the supply connection point is for foul water and rainwater, because there are not different networks really. So what is more common? This could be a completely different installation, but maybe it's more common to do like this. This other example I have here, like that. I have first the foul water till one point, then the foul water that well, continues here with the vertical element, etc. And then at a certain point, before we go to the supply connection point, we insert an special inspection box which allows to mix rainwater with foul water. What property does this inspection box needs to have? If we come here to the general options, we can come to the inspection boxes button, and the check that the inspection box needs to have is this water seal. If we check this option, this is the right type of inspection box. Okay, and again, I think visually or graphically, the colors are useful because we see that this is common for foul water and rainwater, and then we continue in the supply connection. Okay, only a little comment about this part. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, everything is connected, and here if we see this is the finished project, but the one we are doing now, the India connection project, we can see that little by little we are adding more information. Now we have also the sanitary installation. We have all the graphical information, and really we could export also the documents. Okay, in case this is quite important, really, the fact that this is the aim of this is not only to share, you can do it always everything by yourself, but you can work in a work team and invite different users and work as a team. Sometimes some person can, maybe you don't want everybody to work on the project, but maybe see the project. Okay, so that's what I think is interesting. Well, now we have talked about programs related to water and sanitary systems. Now we are going to talk about energy programs, thermal values. Okay, in this case, the programs for today are going to be sensor loads and open bin taking. In this case, well, we are going to continue with from the architectural model. Okay. So let's come here, sensor loads. We create a new project, new job. To be the same. Select project, interconnection. In this case, the program automatically knows that the initiator is going to be the file from IFC Builder. No doubt about that. And the program asks if I want additional files. In this case, I don't need the water equipment or sanitary systems because it doesn't have any relation. It's not related with the thermal load. So let's skip it. And this is important, okay, the hemisphere. to the file. This is fine. Okay, when we have this, we're reading the architectural model. This has another environment. It's very easy also. Here, everything that has this exclamation point means that has to be checked. What happens that we have to give properties to the spaces. For example, in this, I'm going to make it very simple because yes. So I want to have a brief comments about the program so you know the way they work. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that only the dining room is going to be conditioned, okay? And everything will be non-conditioned. Let's make it simple, okay? So the toilet is going to be non-habitable. The same for the kitchen. So I can work in the dining room. What about the dining room? Well, the part of the spaces is very important in Selfdriving because, well, what's the goal of this program? To calculate the thermal loads of the spaces. So the first thing is to know what conditions we have inside. That's what is defined here in the space, in the library space. I want to say, I have to tell the program what properties the dining room has. This is very interesting. I think it has a lot of explanatory texts and also helps like this. The source with a very reliable source that is the Accessory standard. For example, if I have any doubts about the ventilation I want to use in the dining room, I could come here and see, for example, in the Accessory, it says that for food and beverage service in a restaurant, this is the right value. I could click here and use it. I could create schedules. I'm going to, in fact, in this case, I have already created one type of space for the dining room. This is very advisable from a point of view that you spend time creating the right way the spaces and then export it to the library so you can use it in other projects and share with your work team, of course. So this is an example of use of this. You see everything, there's a blue arrow, there's helping values from this source. And also, well, this is, okay, that's how I made this type of space. And also another interesting part, I think, is the schedule. The fact that I can make schedules. For example, if, well, probably in this restaurant, there's not going to be anyone at night time from 8 to 6 in the morning. So this is a very small value, ventilation, these hours, and then from 6 to 8, I have 100%. This is something you can define with your own criteria or even months. Maybe this restaurant is always closed in, I don't know, in October. So let's change, you can change anything you want in this element, okay? This could be 100. If I want that no use in this case, I could choose 0%, okay? 0% all this month, okay? For example, what I said, October nobody is here, I could choose another value, a different value for that part. Okay. And there's another place where I can choose the month source. Anyway, I think that's the part, a very important part. The space. These are the interior conditions in the spaces, and then I'm going to go a little to this part because these are the external conditions. The external conditions are here in the location data. Here, I can press import and choose from the Accessory for the data viewer a number of locations. For example, in your case, if we're talking about India, some of you at least, let me choose this. I see there are questions. Okay, I think I'll go into that afterwards. Okay, here in India, in Delhi, for example, in the airport, I could choose this. Of course, I could change different cells one by one. Well, let's accept these external conditions. And the other part, you can choose the type of calculation. Okay, that was the part about external and internal conditions. The other part that is important is to define the envelope of the building, the walls, the screed, the roof, etc. Here, these elements by default are not. I have to give properties. I could do it layer by layer, or I could use this help. I could use the help of the representative wall types from the Accessory handbook. This is what I'm going to do now. The same with the partition. I could use a number of options, for example, like that, or create layers one by one. In this case, for example, I could use this. In the element, okay, I'm not going to be very detailed about this, but it's important that you know all the options you have, okay? In this case, you could add more layers, edit them, or do with your own criteria. Talking about the doors, you only need to give the heat transfer coefficient and the absorbance. I'm very interested in completing this because I want to generate the thermal loads so they can be read in OpenBIM taking. Let me see if I can finish the model. Imagine these values, okay? I could use the same value for both of them. For example, by doing this, I can give the same properties to both of them. Maybe like that. Imagine, don't take an account of the value, okay, but the mechanical of this. I accept and give the same values to the two of them. And by that, I can save. This could be finished, the part of defining the elements. Here in edges, I can process the edges. Taking into account, there are a lot of codes that I could use or even define it manually. This is, I can read the program can read all the thermal bridges because we created the analytical model from IFC Builder. Okay, and then now that the building is finished, I can go to thermal loads and create a hypothesis. In this case, there's only one way, I guess. The dining room is going to be in one zone, and then the rest, the toilets and the kitchen will be in the other zone. This gets more interesting. Let's calculate it here in update results. It gets the hypothesis is more interesting when I have more than one. This has no results because it's the non-conditioned part. If I come here, the hypothesis is interesting when I have more than one conditioned space. For example, I could have 2 dining rooms, and I can say if I want to condition to calculate the thermal loads at the same time or not simultaneously. So I could create different hypotheses. In this case, it's only one. Okay. Well, what do I get? I get so much information. not only the description of the method, but also the final results. I get graphical results of the different calculations that the program has made. Okay, this could be, we could spend an hour with this, but unfortunately we can't. So I'll finish with the part that is more important, maybe, that is the final result. I'm going to export this to the project. Let's call it India loads. Okay, we're going to export the loads. And while we export this, I want to show you how to get the results. Here in the zone, we can click here in complete report, and we can see the results of cooling and heating we have we get in this for this building. We can export it. Imagine this is in the folder. Thermal loads report. Here I have the file, and I want to have this in front of me because we'll see later how these values are exported or are seen with OpenBIM taking. Okay? Okay, of course, you can change the unit, remember, okay? No need to say, okay. Okay. What is the next step? OpenBIM taking. For example, this is a program that is for the BRB system and is going to read the loads from Selfdriving loads. Sorry. Here you see in the project we already have the loads, even the reports you see. Okay, this is exported in the BIMserver.center platform. Okay, now with OpenBIM taking, we are going to do a new file. Let's keep the name, save. We connect to the project. In this case, what do I want? I want to import the load, the architectural model, and also the loads. In this case, I'm going to do this. Otherwise, it doesn't. I could see everything in the 3D, but I don't need it now, I think. Let's press next, finish. And here I have this environment. Now, I hope you are familiar with it by now, with the 2 floor plans. And what is really, really interesting is that we are able to read the loads. These values come from here. You see the final value of cooling loads and the final value of heating for this building is here in OpenBIM taking. So of course you could edit the loads if you want from here. Imagine that you regret to have created the kitchen as not conditioned. You could of course write here a value. Okay, it is possible, but it's safer, I think, if it's in the properties of the space. So if you, for example, change the wall, you can calculate the thermal loads again, export, and import it here with update button. Okay. What about the installation? This is very easy to use program. Again, you can choose the external conditions here. Okay. And here, the zones, there's only one zone, but okay, you can see how we have read the cooling, maximum cooling simultaneous load and maximum heating simultaneous load from thermal loads. And well, the next part is to install to make the installation, which is very intuitive, I think. We could choose the different elements we want. Let's start, for example, with 2 elements. Well, for example, this and this. I like with a small number because I can show you how the program does how the load is shared between the 2 elements. Here, we could continue in the roof. Here we say that we want to continue seeing the ground floor. Then we choose vertical pipe. Sorry, first horizontal pipe, and then vertical pipe. Okay, and then I can choose the external unit, the outdoor unit. At the beginning, don't worry about this because I haven't finished the installation. I only look for the errors when I have finished the calculation. Here, I can do like that. I think everything is connected. Let's see. There's here 1 second. Okay. But the condition, of course, this is not right because look at this. At the beginning, everything is connected. Okay. The problem is not the right number of elements or anything. What I want to show you is that here the program is telling that the cooling capacity is not okay, and the heating capacity is not okay. What the program does is this is the program is dividing the total load of the space between the 2 elements. We have 2, and it's seeing that it's not enough. With this element, you see the warning signs, it's not enough. So even with the biggest one, because we chose at the beginning the first, even with the biggest one, it could not be enough. Okay, you see, this is not enough, so the program leaves the first one. What I'm going to do now is insert more elements. For example, maybe I could choose another indoor unit like that one, or maybe I could insert in this part these units. I could do like that, and then that. Let's see now. Now I get no warnings or errors. So you see here the different, here everything is right, capacity, cooling, etc. I'll show you now something interesting in your, let's change the unit now. Something really interesting for me, from a point of view, is not only that the program sees what is the right element for the dimensions, the equipment, so it's right for the loads of the installation, but also generates interesting schemas that you can use. And that one, okay. And also a very interesting report from my point of view, not only this with all the checks that the program has made and the schema, but also a materials schedule with the different elements that this installation would have. Okay, that's about open intake. And we could export it. Okay, and the last, I'm sorry, I have to go very fast. I have only less than 10 minutes, so, and I think you also have questions, so I have to go a little bit fast. You can see this later and pause in different moments. Because the last program I wanted to talk about today was CYPE hydraulic systems. This is a very interesting program about the hydraulic calculation. Let's create the file. Save. In the connection set. In this case, what is really important is the additional files are not important, but I'm going to use them so I can show you in the 3D. Okay, 1 second. For some reason, you don't mind. I'm going to continue with this one. This is the, okay, for some reason the architectural model wasn't in here. I'm going to show you how to insert the installation from scratch. What we would read here is the ground floor and the roof, okay, like the other times. What I'm going to do here with the erase button, we can choose what type of elements we want to erase. We want to erase everything that is with the fire installation. Okay, that would be the let me do this. This is will be more in like that. You will understand it better. I'm going to do the fire installation for the restaurant. Okay. I'm going to choose this as an initiator, and if I want, I can add everything else so we can see in the 3D. I'm going to do this because I'm interested in that you see all the information. Okay, roof and ground floor, and here I can see. Okay, here we can see all the installation. That I was very interested in showing you this. Okay, everything we have done is here. Okay, in this program, that is, it has very similar to plumbing in the fact of the pre-configured norms or standards. Let's choose the American standard, very famous. And what we have to do in this case is only give, here we have the properties of the type of light hazard space. So that's what we are going to do with the dining room. We're going to say that the dining room has these properties. And the sprinklers can be installed. And in the toilet, we say that not, we don't want them installed. And the same with the kitchen. Okay, so the program will only ask for sprinklers in the dining room. Okay, only now that this is done, we could, with the aid of the program will tell us everything that is needed. If we don't have any supply connection, it's totally uncompleted. How can we do this? There are a number of ways. Today, I'm going to choose the fastest one, okay? There are other seminars that explain this in more detail. The fastest way will be automatic generation. The type of sprinkler I have this, for example. Let's choose an automatic generation, central cross main. This is the program will place with these conditions. the different the installation. I only have to choose to click in the space, right button, and here I have the installation. Here everything will be with this level. So I just have to create a vertical element. Okay, a vertical pipe. So I can continue with an horizontal plug. Don't worry about branch line or anything. The program will change it automatically. And here, the supply connection. If I do this, imagine it's important to create a hypothesis, the same scenario. But imagine I forget. If I press here, the program tells us that I need operating areas. This is the most hydraulic, most unfavorable sprinkler. I have to create a design scenario with an area of operation. If it were a big installation, I could choose a small part. But in this case, what this says is that the maximum operation area is almost 300 square meters, and this is smaller than that. Okay, the space is smaller than that. So I could, like that, okay, you see, it's 130 square meters. So I can say, I can choose area of operation that covers everything, all the space. So no, I never have any problem with this. And then design. I have, okay, the program has made the design. I can see in the 3D, I could delete everything like that. And I even have a simulation of how this would work. This program is very, very complete. It creates a project with the analysis of the installation. Anyway, you could also generate the checks in each sprinkler. And well, this is very fast, but at least I hope you get a curiosity about this program and research about it and try it yourself. Let's see, I think it's the time. Let's see if I can answer some of your questions. Let's see. Let me read it, please. Oh, thank you. John Paul has answered some of the questions. Thank you very much. Oh, you had doubts about the software name. Okay, we have used so many software. Always in the app, in the center of the window, you can see the name of the program and the version. Heat load calculations. Okay, heat loads. What about the question about if the software could use for heat load calculations? Of course, thermal loads can be used for cooling or heating, or both. That's something you choose here. Okay, the calculation standard you want to use, and also the condition of the spaces are defined here. Okay, heated and cooled, only cooled or only heated. Okay. Okay. About solar calculations, well, if somebody was interested in solar calculations, we have a program here in the platform. Here, if we write solar, you can find this program, Self-Plumbing Solar Systems. The way this program is very similar to the other self-plumbing programs. So the explanation I gave you, I think will help you in the use of this program too. Let's see, I'll go back to the questions. Thank you for your questions and your interest, of course. Let's see if I can. Okay. Okay, yes, the other program. Okay. Yes, Paul answered that, but because I was talking about PDF, but of course we are talking about the different reports. It's also possible. Imagine, for example, this in the hydraulic systems calculation. In the export button. Sorry, because I have the questions now in front of me. Okay, in the export button is PDF, but also docx or Microsoft Word, for example. Text format is the okay, different formats, of course, not only PDF. Okay. Thank you for your kind words. And this, the elements we have in the question about elements, what we have at this moment in Open BIM Daking is BRB and also air source heat pump or aerothermal installation. This is what we have at the moment. Anyway, if you are interested, well, in the support department, you can ask questions and also make suggestions. So we will be glad to hear from you. If you have more suggestions, we can please tell us and we can tell to the development department. Well, I think more or less I think I have answered everything. In case there's any doubt, please don't hesitate to contact me in this email. My name is Maria Adrian. Okay? Maria, if it's easier for you, you can write to my attention to this email, and I'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello. Hey, Maria.
Hello. Hi.
So, thank you for your presentation. As well as Maria answered all the questions. If you have any other further questions later on, you as well, you have our email, my email, you have Maria's email, and you have Anu's email as well. What I would like to take the opportunity as well, that since we are here, I mean, later on this month, we'll be organizing most probably another webinar with regards to water efficiency, which goes a bit in this webinar of today. So if you follow us on LinkedIn, you will be seeing the event coming up in this week. Most probably it will be held on the 20th of October. So it will be given by Maria as well, and by our special guest, Mr. Ashu Gupta as well. So it might be interesting to join, okay, to register for this webinar, and you learn more about our modules and about water efficiency as well. If you don't have any further questions, I think we can end the session for today. It was a long session, so we give Maria a break as well. This session has been recorded.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you so much, John, for organizing this session. It's like a wonderful session, I can see, and we had a very great questions from different people. So thank you so much, Maria, for taking and giving this session.
Okay, thank you for your kind words. I'm sorry I had to go very fast, but as you see, the content was very excellent. But you can watch it again, pause it, and see it calmer.
Thank you all, and have a good afternoon to all. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.